Hey, and welcome back to MurderTube. For today's video, let's discuss one of the most infamous serial killers who has left the world puzzled for decades. Some people claim to have identified the killer, others claim he will never be identified. And yes, we are talking about the Zodiac Killer. So how did this killer terrorize the community, and how did he manage to avoid capture? Well, let's get into that right now. The Zodiac Killer was active in Northern California in the late 1960s and early 1970s. The Zodiac himself claimed to have killed 37 people. There are between 20 and 28 deaths that are thought to be linked with the Zodiac. However, there's actually only 5 confirmed Zodiac murders. But on top of the murders, it's the Zodiac's public messages and ciphers that have drawn so much interest into him. The first confirmed Zodiac murders that we know of happened on the night of December 20th, 1968. 2 high school students, David Faraday, just 17 years old, and Betty Lou Jensen, just 16 years old, were out on their very first date. The couple were originally planning to attend a Christmas concert, but they later decided to visit a friend and then go to a restaurant. After the restaurant, the young couple drove to a gravel area near Lake Herman Road, and this was a well-known kind of lover's lane location. Shortly before 11 p.m., another vehicle entered this area and parked next to the couple. A man got out of this vehicle and at gunpoint ordered the young couple to get out of theirs. As David Faraday was exiting his vehicle, he was shot in the head. Betty Lou would attempt to flee, and she would be shot 5 times in the back. The bodies of the young couple would be discovered just minutes later, but the police investigation into this murder would result in no leads. After this initial incident, there was no activity for over 6 months, until the night of July 4th, 1969. 2 friends, Michael Myuu, 19 years of age, and Darlene Ferrin, 22 years of age, were hanging out in Darlene's vehicle. They were parked in a parking lot just 4 miles away from the previous murders. Strangely, at around midnight, a second vehicle entered the parking lot and it stopped next to the couple, the same as in the previous murder. However, this time, the vehicle only stopped briefly and then it drove away. But 10 minutes later, that same vehicle would return and this time parked behind the couple's vehicle. A man got out of the car, armed with a gun and a flashlight, and as soon as he approached the side of their vehicle, he opened fire, striking both of them multiple times. As the man was returning to his vehicle, he heard Michael moaning, so he returned to them and shot each of them 2 more times. A little later on, at 12:40 a.m., the police department received a call from someone reporting this murder. However, this person would actually claim responsibility for this murder as well as the murder that happened on December 20th. The miraculous part of this incident is that Michael Myuu, despite being shot numerous times and being shot in the face, neck, and stomach, survived the attack. Michael would describe his attacker as between 26 and 30 years of age, around 200 pounds, about 5'8", and that he was a white male with short, light brown, curly hair. On the 1st of August 1969, 3 different newspaper companies would receive letters that were nearly identical. However, each of these letters contained separate 1/3 parts of a cryptic message. These letters were claiming to be from the murder of these past 2 incidents. When the cryptic message was put together, it was 408 symbols long. The letters demanded that the cryptograms be printed on the front page of each newspaper, and if his demand was not met, he would cruise around all weekend, killing lone people in the night until he has killed about 12 people. Initially, one of the papers published their part of the cryptogram, although it was on page 4. They also included a message from the police chief stating that he was not really sure if this was the killer, and they requested another letter with more proof. So a week later, on the 7th of August, a second letter was received. This letter did include more details about the murders, and these were details that were not public knowledge that only the police and the murderer themselves would know. This letter also stated, "Dear editor, this is the Zodiac speaking. This is the first time that the name Zodiac has ever been used, and this is a nickname that he had given himself. Although his cryptograms were never printed on the first page originally, the Zodiac's threat of his weekend kills never did happen. The next day, on the 8th of August, a married couple cracked the 408 cryptogram. Although there were some spelling errors, the cryptogram read, "I like killing people because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest because man is the most dangerous animal of all. To kill something gives me the most thrilling experience. It is even better than getting your rocks off with a girl. The best part of it is that when I die, I will be reborn in paradise, and all that I have killed will become my slaves. I will not give you my name because you will try to slow down or stop my collection of slaves for the afterlife." On the 27th of September, the Zodiac Killer would strike again. Two college students, Brian Hartnell, 20 years old, and Cecilia Shepard, 22 years old, were picnicking at the Lake Berryessa area. Shortly after 6 p.m., the couple were approached by the Zodiac Killer. However, this time he was wearing a kind of black executioner-style hood that had a bit of a bib on it with his crosshair Zodiac symbol. The Zodiac Killer claimed to be an escaped convict, and he told the couple that he wasn't going to hurt them, he just needed their car and the money so that he could get to Mexico. With gun in hand, Zodiac told Cecilia to tie Brian up, and he passed her some pieces of clothesline that he had with him. After Brian was tied up, the Zodiac Killer tied up Cecilia. What the couple believed to be a weird robbery quickly took a deadly turn. Once they were tied up, Zodiac pulled out a knife and began repeatedly stabbing the couple. Brian was stabbed 6 times in the back. Cecilia was stabbed 10 times. It's believed that Cecilia was trying to roll herself over so that he could only get her back, but Zodiac kept rolling her back over so that he could stab her front. After he had killed them, Zodiac hiked over to where Brian's car was and left a message on the side of his door. The message included Zodiac's crosshair logo, the date of his first murders, the date of his second murders, the date of these new murders, and with the words, "by knife." Just like the previous incident, at 7:40 p.m., the Sheriff's Department received a call from the Zodiac reporting a double murder and claiming responsibility for these murders. When emergency services arrived, Brian and Cecilia were actually still alive at the time and were transported to hospital. Unfortunately, 2 days later, Cecilia would be pronounced dead. Brian, being stabbed 6 times, would actually survive and be able to tell the police what happened that fateful evening. And then just 2 weeks later, the Zodiac Killer would strike yet again. This time, 29-year-old taxi driver Paul Stein would unknowingly give a ride to the Zodiac Killer. During this taxi ride, the Zodiac Killer would shoot Paul Stein once in the head. The Zodiac would steal Paul's wallet, car keys, and also take part of Paul's shirt that was now soaked in blood. At around 9:55 p.m., 3 teenagers phoned the police as they had witnessed a man wiping down the taxi and kind of saw the aftermath of the incident. They noticed this man walking away. Police officers would immediately begin responding to this incident, and 2 officers riding together would spot a man just 2 blocks away from the crime scene. This man would be the Zodiac Killer. The police stopped at the Zodiac Killer, and he had finally been found by the police. His reign of terror would now be over. Except the police only spoke to Zodiac for a couple of minutes, and then they let him go. Paul Stein's murder was originally thought to be a robbery gone wrong, and for some unknown reason, the dispatch information stated that the suspect was a black male. So these 2 officers, thinking that they're looking for a black male, did not think that the Zodiac Killer, being a white male, was the suspect that they were looking for. They just stopped next to him just to ask if he had seen anything suspicious, and then they carried on their way looking for their real suspect, or who they thought was their real suspect. These officers would later describe the Zodiac Killer as being between 35 and 45 years of age, 5 foot 10 inches, white male with a crew cut kind of hairstyle. It was a similar description as the teenagers gave, just slightly older. October 13th, another letter was received from the Zodiac. This time, the letter also included a bloodstained piece of Paul Stine's shirt. In the letter, the Zodiac claimed responsibility for the murder. He also claimed that he would target a school bus, and that he would kill the children as they came bouncing out. Strangely, later in October, the police department received a phone call from the Zodiac demanding that a prominent lawyer appear on a talk show, AM San Francisco. The lawyer Melvin Bailey did appear on this show, and while he was on it, the Zodiac called in numerous times. The Zodiac said that he would not give his true identity due to being afraid of the gas chamber, which back then was one of the capital punishments. Melvin Bailey said that he could offer help to the Zodiac, and he arranged a meeting with him, but of course the Zodiac never showed up. When police investigated these calls, they would later be traced to a patient in a mental institution. These were not real calls from the Zodiac Killer. On November 8th, another letter was received along with a new cryptogram. The letter requested that the cryptogram be printed on the front page of the paper. He also stated that he gets awful lonely when ignored, so lonely he could do his thing. This 340 symbol cryptogram would not be solved for 51 years. And then the very next day, another letter was received, this one 7 pages long. He claimed he would start to change the way he collected the souls, and that he would start to make his murders look to be more like routine robberies and routine accidents. He claimed that he does look like the description that's been given to the public, but only when he's doing his thing. The rest of the time he looks entirely different. He would also confirm that the encounter the 2 police officers had on the night of Paul Stine's murder was the Zodiac Killer. He described a bomb that he was going to make, and that he was going to use this bomb to blow up a school bus. He demanded that these letters be printed, or else he would do his thing. Things got a little bit stranger on December 20th, exactly 1 year after the Zodiac's first confirmed murders, when the lawyer Melvin Bailey received a letter from the Zodiac. The letter included another piece of the blood-stained shirt of Paul Stine to confirm that it was from the Zodiac. And this letter to Melvin Bailey was like a cry for help. He claimed he had not set up the school bus bomb yet. However, he feared he would lose control and that he would set it up. The letter also suggested that the Zodiac had 8 victims. However, out of the 7 people that he's confirmed to have attacked, 2 of them survived. There was only really 5 confirmed victims. If there was an 8th victim at this point, it's unknown if it's true. After this letter, things would be quiet for a little while, until the night of March 22nd, 1970, when 22-year-old Kathleen Johns and her infant daughter would get kidnapped. Even though we've discussed the confirmed cases of the Zodiac Killer, his story doesn't quite end there, and we still got quite a bit to discuss. There's still some incidents that he's linked with, some that are a little bit strange as well as his letters and his ciphers still continue. He's still got this obsessive need for this public attention, and it just comes out more and more in his future letters. Unfortunately, because the Zodiac case is so involved and we're trying to include as much details as we can, we are going to have to split this up into 2 parts. So we're going to end part 1 here, and on this upcoming Wednesday we will have part 2 coming out. So as always, like the video if you liked it. If you disliked it, let us know in the comments, leave us some feedback, and make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell icon, as we will be bringing you videos twice every week, and you don't want to miss the second part of the Zodiac case here. So it's a strange world out there, guys. Stay safe.